everyone, it's Jessica and I am the booktuber behind Peace Love Books, and today I'm here to share some tips on practicing mindfulness. I think we can all acknowledge that 2020 has been quite the year. I personally have gone through a lot this year. Some firsts I've never done. I've hurt my back. I cut my finger and had to go to the emergency room. My ceiling was leaking. My air conditioning went out. It's been a year on top of everything the world is going through. So I have definitely had to practice a lot of mindfulness lately. And that is something I've noticed too, that even at my job, I'm a high school English teacher, we've had a lot more presentations in the past few years of my job about mindfulness and taking care of ourselves. So I have a couple of recommendations on how you can practice mindfulness, how you can just take time to take care of yourself and give yourself a break. So the first obvious way I take care of myself is reading. And so I do have 4 books for you that I want to tell you about that are books and authors that I can really rely on. Now they're all historical romances because lately, ever since pretty much quarantine started in March, I have been obsessed with historical romances. I've been reading them like crazy, buying them like crazy. So I have 4 authors I know I can rely on to give me a fantastic story that I can just get lost in. The first author is Julie Garwood with The Secret. This is the first book I've read by her, and she's one I've been collecting all of her gorgeous covers from. They're beautiful and metallic. This one, our main character has a best friend who is Scottish and she herself is English, and she lives in England. She grew up on the border, so that's how she knew her friend, but they haven't seen each other in a long time, and her friend is actually pregnant. She's very scared though because both her mother and her grandmother died during childbirth. She's terrified the same thing will happen to her, so our main character had promised to go back to Scotland to see her best friend when she was pregnant, and that has happened. And so the Clan's Laird and some extra helpers come to escort her to Scotland, and she falls in love with the Laird along their little trip, and while she's taking care of her friend. It's so good. I absolutely loved it. I love a good Scottish romance, so I would definitely recommend checking out Julie Garwood's books. I just realized all 4 of these are about Scottish men. I apologize, but that is where I find my comfort, so that is the Outlander lover in me. But the next one is When a Scot Ties a Knot by Tessa Dare. I think we all know Tessa Dare is just such a fun author, and all of her books are just so readable and I love them. In this one, our main character has been writing letters to her betrothed, and it turns out that the name she chose to write fake letters to so that she wouldn't have to actually like try to court someone is actually a real person that's been receiving her letters. She had no idea that the name and the profession she chose, I forget what kind of rank it is in the military, but she had addressed her letters to this person, and she told very personal things to this person. It was kind of more like a diary to her, and she would send out her letters. It was a real guy, and he is back, and he's like, I'm here to marry you, aren't I your betrothed? And she had recently said that he was dead. So it's really fun. I absolutely loved it. He is Scottish, and I could not recommend Tessa Dare enough. Then we have The Highwayman by Kerrigan Byrne. Kerrigan Byrne writes a lot darker historical romances, but they are just so angsty, and I love angsty historicals. Our main character has said that she's been a widow because when she was young in, I think it was an orphanage, she had married her childhood sweetheart in like a pretend ceremony, but then something really devastating happened to her, and he saved her and ended up having to go to a like working jail and died there. And so ever since then, she said that she's a widow to show that she is loyal to him, and so she doesn't have to marry anybody, because like widows have a lot more freedom during this time period than single women. And this guy shows up who used to know her childhood love, and he ends up kidnapping her, kind of. He just whisks her away to Scotland for a specific reason, and he's a highwayman. So it's so good. I absolutely love this. I love this whole series. I can really rely on Kerrigan Byrne to give me a good historical romance. The next and last one I have is Jennifer Ashley. The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie is a book I read this year and fell head over heels for. Ian is on the spectrum, and it's not really clearly told where he is or what he's diagnosed with, because this is in the, I think it's the 1700s. They didn't know what that was, and so unfortunately Ian was actually sent to an insane asylum because he saw something he wasn't supposed to. He used his autism as an excuse to send him away, and he is someone who believes he can never love anybody, and so he does have a really close relationship with his siblings though. All of his siblings get a book, which I absolutely loved. The first 4 are all the siblings books, and they're amazing. And he sees this woman, and she's actually a widow, so like I said in the previous book, widows have a lot more freedom, can have a lot more relationships, and do a lot more things. And so he's immediately drawn to her and says, I want you. And so they start a relationship and slowly fall in love, and Ian realizes he may be able to love. It's amazing. I could not recommend Jennifer Ashley's books enough. The next one I have found great comfort in, especially when I was working from home and then home for the summer since I'm a teacher, and that is working out and running. And so I relied on the gym a lot before everything shut down, and I'm not comfortable going back to the gym right now, and so I've started running outside again, and I'll pop in an audiobook and go for a 3-mile run in the morning, and it has been such a great routine for me to have, and I feel like I'm exercising and getting out when I'm not really as social and getting out as I used to be. And if I'm not doing that, I'm doing a workout video in my basement, and so I'm still finding ways to be active, and it's just making me feel really good and like I've accomplished something, and it's, like I said, really great for my routine. So now that I'm back at school, unfortunately I'm not running at 5 a.m. before I wake up, but I am finding time to work out when I get home, and so I'll get home, say hi to my pups, and then go change and do a video and just feel like I'm being really productive, and I really feel healthier and stronger when I'm working out. So working out has been a great comfort for me, and it's been something that I've been relying on a lot during this time. The next one, which I will actually show you a little bit of me doing, is bullet journaling. And so I have the, I don't know how to pronounce it, I think it's Leuchtturm bullet journal, and I absolutely love it. I have my stickers from Redbubble, and this one I've had for over a year. They last me years, my bullet journals do, and I always make pages for readathons. I also track my reading in them, and it's just a great way to relax. It's a great way to keep track of my reading, and so I had the historical romance readathon, so I did my page here and my TBR here. That was the bingo board we had, and so I love using washi tape, figuring out what kind of colors I want to use. So I'll go ahead and cut to a clip of me doing my September TBR and book tracking. Is spending time with my pets. I am back at work and I miss my babies. I had about 5 months where I was working from home and then summer break, so I was with my puppies a lot, and now that I'm back at work, I make sure I make time to spend with them when I get home. Like I said, I give them about a good 10 to 15 minutes of just paying attention to them and seeing them before I go work out, and then making sure I have some time where I'm just relaxing and spending time with my dogs. They love to cuddle, and so if I just sit on the couch for maybe an hour and let Darcy in my lap, she is one happy pup. So this is Miss Lily, and she is such a cutie. I called her and she would not come upstairs, so I thought I would take you guys down here to say hello to my cute pups. I make sure to always say hello. Hi, Miss Darcy. I've got Miss Darcy over here, and I thought I'd show you how adorable she is and how cute she looks when I'm not giving her attention. And so I think it's important to take time and give your pets some loving, and do it for yourself too, because they need attention, but you need that bonding time with your dogs to just feel relaxed. I definitely recommend giving the pups a little bit more attention. Or cats, or bunnies, or whatever kind of pet you have. Just put some time aside throughout the day to say hi to them and get a little snuggle time in. And those are some ways that I've been practicing mindfulness. Please let me know in the comments down below some ways that you've been practicing mindfulness, or if any of these tips are ones that you are going to take on. I think we can all agree, if we're on a book channel, that we do find some great solace and comfort in reading. And so that's all I have. Make sure you hit like and subscribe for more bookish content. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.